Greetings everybody, Thunder here on this beautiful day of January 30th, 2017, and it is a beautiful day here in the desert. Nice weather out. We're in the 50s here, so that's a good sign. It's getting a little bit warmer, and as I go on my walks and stuff, it's getting a little bit more enjoyable. I don't have to battle elements so much. I was thinking today about my purpose and some of the things that I do on YouTube here, and some of the things that I do just in general. My purpose is really to disseminate information on shamanistic practices, spiritual practices, ideas, concepts, ways to elude the negativity that surrounds us. And then another purpose is to debunk some of the things that we see surrounding us in the form of news from the mainstream media, things that we're subjected to on a daily level from this country, this government, the legacy media, that type of thing. Basically just a twofold purpose for me, and again, that would be disseminating information on practices, spiritual practices, things that people don't normally come into contact with, and debunking or getting rid of some of the false conceptions, ideas that we have concerning our society, ourselves, that type of thing. So recently I have been working on getting a book that is an award-winning book that I've done called Listen to the Wind, Speak from the Heart. It's got a nice cover on it, done by an artist in Sedona. That is a book that was published by a major publisher, but due to circumstances, it went out of print. So I've been working on getting that back in print again, and it is on Amazon now. And it's a great book. It's got some beautiful ideas in it. I have won an award for this book, so I guess I am an award-winning author by a visionary society. Gave me an award for this book. It's got some great chapters in it. I thought I'd read a few here just so you can get an idea. A lot of it's the same stuff I talk about. But the chapters, some of the chapters are chapter 1, internal strength, 2, being a spiritual warrior, walking the sacred circle, animal totems, the Taoist warrior, violence on our senses, being a free spirit, spiritual tracking and backtracking, balance, the Apache warrior, fighter, survivor, entertainment versus inner attainment, spirits of the 4 directions, giving and receiving. That's just kind of a general idea of all the chapters in this book, and there's many chapters. They're short chapters. It's a kind of book where, you know, you can just open up the pages and whatever chapter you happen to read, and the chapters again are small, maybe 1 or 2 pages, 3 pages. It's kind of like throwing the I Ching. It'll probably speak to you about something that you're thinking about, or maybe it'll answer a question you've thought about in the past, or whatever. But I'm really happy with the book. That's one of 3 books that I have out, and I'm working on another one. So there are links to Spirit of Crazy Horse below, and I'll probably put a direct link to the books themselves, so that you can buy them directly from the people I'm working with. Another option would be, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to order a bunch of books and have them at cost and have them here, so that if you want to order from me personally and get a signed copy of the book, I can do that too. And I have been thinking about offering, making a special offer for signing a book, and maybe for a certain price having me being able to talk to me on the phone and ask me whatever questions you might have concerning something that might be bothering you, or something that I can help with directing you to a better space in your life, that type thing. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm working on right now, and I'll be working on some other things. I've been thinking about doing streaming videos, or live streaming, which is something that is something I've been looking at. And like I said before, I'm going to be doing some interviews with some people, probably just live, right on the phone. Put it on speakerphone, have them talk, that type of thing. I have to experiment around with that. Kind of hate to use Skype. Don't really want to use Skype. But if I have to, I will, or if I have to upgrade. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing, going to be doing, is going to depend too on any kind of donations that I might receive. Because let's face it, yes, I'm on a fixed income, and that only allows me to do so much. I do have to pay for the internet. I have to pay for various things associated with me doing any kind of videos or broadcasts or that type of thing. So any time that you feel like donating a small amount, whatever you can afford, that can be done at thespiritofcrazyhorse.com on the little donate button on the right hand side. It would help me considerably propagate my purpose and that of the Campfire Council, which I am head of. Someday I'll get into a little bit more detail about the Campfire Council and the whole idea behind that, and what the aims and goals are of the Campfire Council and the people on there. Got a lot of good people on there. It's like a little tribe, actually. Under 90 people, around 90 people. So I want to try to further that concept, further the concept of having a space where people can get together and learn different things: yoga, meditation, martial arts, tracking, being in nature, being one with nature, that type thing. So these are all ideas that I have that I'm working on. Now, since this is just an off-the-cuff type video today, I thought I would talk a little bit about something I heard concerning world affairs. I noticed today that Trump has a Twitter account. Well, I noticed that a long time ago, but he tweeted something today. I think it's great, first of all, that he has a Twitter account, because basically what he's doing with that is he's bypassing the mainstream media, the legacy media, who won't let him get a word in edgewise without condemning him or twisting his words or making him look like the quote-unquote orange Hitler or whatever. And, there's so many people that have been brainwashed by the media and sucked into their smear campaign. This country's going through a major division right now between different camps. The old camp being the old way of doing things, the old politics, the old business is normal bullshit, and then we got this new upstart guy in here, Trump, trying to accomplish some things. And people, even friends, will sit around and badmouth him all day, all fucking day long, about, oh, he's this and he's that and he's a sexist and he's a racist and he's a psychotic and he's a criminal. Oh, really? What proof do you have of this? If you could bring him to court, would you win your court case? Don't think so. So quit talking shit about somebody that just got into office and just let them do their thing and give them a chance. That's all I got to say. Watch them for a while. Am I 100% behind every policy that Trump puts up or talks about? Hell no. There's things that I don't like that I would never back him in, but there's a lot of things he's doing that I would. So anyway, what he did today is he tweeted something about John McCain and Lindsey Graham. He called him out. He called him out on the fact that they're just warmongers, outright warmongers, and that they're trying to start World War III, which is way overdue. Calling these fucks out is way overdue on the agenda here. And that they have been doing this for a long, long time, along with their friends, the Hillary bunch, which is strange because you got Republicans actually siding. See, when you're a neocon, it doesn't make any difference whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. You're a neocon, period, end of story. And their agenda seems to want to cause trouble in every aspect of human life right now. Protesting this and protesting that, and talking shit about people, and just having a general bad, negative attitude about the future and the future of our country or whatever. Yes, there's a lot of negativity out there. Yes, there's a lot of... the track record for politicians and the track record for people that get into office has been dismal as far as like them keeping their promises. But guess what? Trump has kept 3 or 4 or 5 of his promises already in the first, week and a half? That's got to count for something. Look at the last president. What did he do? He said, oh, I'm going to close Guantanamo. I'm going to pull the troops out of Afghanistan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a health care program that's affordable for everybody. All of these were lies. All of them were blatant, outright fucking lies. So I'm debunking the last presidency. In fact, I'm debunking the last 3, 4 presidencies. I mean, look what we've had come before us here. George W., Bubba Bill and Hillary. You know, what have we had before now in the last 4 or 5 presidents that have done us any good whatsoever? Who have we had in there that has kept any kind of promise whatsoever? Nobody. Nobody has kept their promise. Nobody has. In fact, if anything, they've taken the country to a dismal, critical situation, to the verge of World War III, to the verge of financial collapse. So yeah, we get a guy in there for a change that keeps good on some of his promises from day one. And look what he's up against. Look what he is up against. This is unprecedented, really. I've never seen anything like it in the history of, recent history anyway. Never seen anything like it. So many people not willing to give a guy a chance, just having a knee-jerk reaction to his personality, his being, his energy. They just don't like it. Well, does that mean that they're right? No, not necessarily. Because look how easily he got into office, despite all the lies and propaganda about how he wouldn't get into office. So the core of the United States voters, the core of the population of the United States, sensed that there was something radically wrong with the way people were doing business as usual. and voted in a guy that was a complete outsider, and in hopes that he would carry out some type of new policy other than the continued policy of hegemony around the world, trying to take over other countries in the guise, okay, of making them a better democratic nation, or going into sovereign nations and replacing their leaders, or deposing their leaders, or just outright assassinating their leaders, like in Libya with Gaddafi. Creating terrorist groups like ISIS to take over sovereign countries and get rid of their leaders, like is being done in Syria. So this is what we've had before with other leaders. I mean, look what Obama did. He created the Syrian crisis by funding so-called quote unquote free rebels that were supposedly trying to get rid of the dictator in Syria. Okay, which that whole thing with Syria having a dictator. Was trumped up originally by people that were at one time working with him. So, take it for what it's worth. Take this with a grain of salt, because it's I'm talking about stuff that is within the illusion here again. But I thought it was great that I think it's great that Trump is using Twitter to bypass the mainstream media. And I think it's great that he's calling out people of his own party who needed to be called out a long fucking time ago about trying to start a World War III, trying to push this agenda of like pissing people off, like Russia and Iran, and it's a go nowhere policy, and it's time that some of these old worn out politicians leave the scene. Okay, get out, leave. We don't need you anymore. So I'm happy to see. I'm basically putting a thumbs up for Trump right now. Again, am I a big, am I a Republican, or am I into politics? Am I, no, not really. I just look at the personality. I just look at the situation. I look at the big picture. And I see what's going on, I can see who has a valid point and who doesn't have a valid point. And again, there is no perfect politician. There is no perfect leader, per se. Every one of them is going to have some kind of skeleton in the closet, or is going to have some kind of character flaw to some people. One man's hero is another man's villain. But it's awful funny right now that there's this huge push of protesting, which is basically paid for by George Soros, who I don't even know if he's from this fucking country. I think he's from another country. I'll have to look into that, but I know if he is of this country, he's of foreign descent, let's put it that way. And he's got an agenda that is deep and dark, and he should just be offed. He should be out of the picture. So yeah, I'm just talking off the cuff today. And I said I was going to do a mixture of, it's like ascending and descending. I said I was going to do a mixture of world affair, world events, news, that type thing, And spirituality. Can the two go hand in hand? Hell yes. Hell yes, they can. It's a no-brainer. People want both things. They want to talk about what's going on in the illusion, and they want to also figure out ways to give them a little bit more peace. So I can chill. I can talk about things and not get too wound up. But on the other hand, I can talk about spiritual things and get wound up about that. I went out on my Harley yesterday. That was a kick in the ass because we've had bad weather here for, not bad weather, just not the kind of weather you want to go cruising around on a Harley. Not when the wind chill is like down. Very, very cold. Lots of snow around. Wind, rain. Highways kind of slick with, when it rains, you get all that oil and asphalt and stuff mixed together, and then you get a little bit of runoff from the mountains, which causes gravel to get into certain areas around certain passes. But I just went out in the valley yesterday and just cruised around here on my bike. It's kind of a weird situation out here in Sandy Valley. It's like one half of the valley is in Nevada and the other half is in California, because like we're right on the tip. Right on the tip, down in the tip. So half of Sandy Valley is in San Bernardino County. So I was cruising around out near the border between Sandy Valley, Nevada and Sandy Valley, California. It was kind of fun. I plan to go a little bit further out there. It's a 2-lane highway, a narrow 2-lane highway, Highway 53, that just, these pictures you see where you're out in the desert and you just got this little 2-lane highway going into nowhere out in the middle of into the mountains. Talk about serenity. Talk about a moving meditation. I often talk about spiritual things, and I don't think you could get much more spiritual than getting on a motorcycle, okay, a nice Harley or something, and plunking your ass down on that thing and just pointing it off into nature. It's not like being in a car, people. When you're in a car, it's like you're looking at a movie, but when you're on a bike, it's like you're in the movie, okay? That's a big freaking difference. And you can feel the road, and you can feel the wind, and you can, you just feel your surroundings. It's like being in a movie, in a virtual reality that is actually a real reality. It's a kick in the ass, man, and it's a sense of freedom as your hair blows in the wind. And so I would highly recommend that as a spiritual practice. Remember years ago, there was a book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which is about a dude and his son, I think, that went on a motorcycle trip. Great book. I'm going to have to reappraise that book or reevaluate it. I'm going to have to read that book again for sure. So anyway, I'm just again talking off the cuff here about different things and informing you as to what Thunder's going to do. Again, I'm going to probably do a streaming. I might even do a radio show. I don't know. Might even do a radio show, a streaming. I'm going to mess around with things. I'm going to try to get some new equipment. Although this equipment's pretty good, and I think I got the lighting thing down now. I'm kind of happy with the lighting thing. Because before, when I was doing, you'll notice on a lot of my videos, the curtain would blow, or the light would go dark, and then it would go very light, out of control. But I got things pretty much in control now because I got some lighting over here. And I got the windows set to in the blinds so that I can just sit here and talk like this and not have to worry about the lighting getting dark or light, that type of thing. I'm getting a little bit more professional attitude here on my videos, and I notice, you know, that there's some people that have kind of fallen off from commenting on my videos, and they're not really there's a few people missing, and so I encourage you to come back. And I know that I went way off schedule, so to speak. You know, in fact, for a while there I was saying, well, I don't even know if I want to do videos. But, you know, on reevaluating everything, I'm thinking, well, you know, there is a need for it. People do like hearing what I have to say. And also, you know, I do have a huge treasure trove of all kinds of videos on this channel here that you can search past videos. I might go through and take out some of the old videos that I don't like or that aren't serving the purpose, some that were done a long time ago. But then again, I don't know. But I'll probably look at some of the older videos and look at and see how they can be done better and redo them, and then eliminate the old one. Might do that. Because there's a lot of videos on, you know, meditation and spiritual practices and just all kinds of tracking practices, just all kinds of things. But I might be in a better frame of mind now, and I might be in a more explicit frame of mind, or a frame of mind where I can explain things a little bit better. So yeah, I'm going to do some reviewing and probably add some videos on some things that I've done in the past, only do it a little bit better this time. So anyway, I guess that's all for now. Adios, over and out.